It's your own time.
Views and opinions are not necessarily that of Tom Strange, host, guest, and affiliated.
You have everything. They're just balls of light, of light, of light, of light. There's a ghost there.
Alrighty, broadcasting live from the Napa Valley wine country, just outside the mystical Sonoma Mountains on the Strange Days digital network. This is Beyond the Strange. I'm your host, Dave Cruz. Thank you for joining us tonight. It is Thursday, October 28th, 2021, the year of our Lord. And we've got a great show for you tonight. Joining us again from the deep depths of the paranormal, we have paranormal researcher, author, and now newly podcaster, Nicole Strickland, has returned back to BTS. And we got so much to talk about. But first, don't forget to join us in the Beyonders Chat Discord channel, whether you're listening to the show with the crew or just chatting with others about other fringe topics to discuss where you want to be. Remember, join us on the official Beyond the Strange Discord chat server. And you can do that by going to beyondthestrange.com. And at the top of the page, there's a chat tab. Just click on that, and that'll get you into Beyond the Strange. Also, the official Beyond the Strange Discord chat. And remember to subscribe to Beyond the Strange, the YouTube channel, the Twitch channel. Remember to subscribe, like, and follow, and get new notifications for live streams during the week. And kind of rushing a little bit tonight because we've got a lot to talk about in a little bit of time. I really want to get our guest out here. So I'm just going to go ahead and, well, first of all, let me go ahead and bring in Russ Bailey. Russ, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having us tonight. Good to see everybody. Dragon Rose, Carl in the chat, the Twitch chat. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
So quickly, and we also have our surprise guest co-host for tonight is Gigi Rabbit from Shift Happens. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
And of course, we have one of the leading paranormal researchers on the West Coast. Nicole Strickland is the founder and director of the well-respected San Diego Paranormal Research Society. Since 2011, she has co-hosted the Spirits of the Adobe tours at the iconic Rancho Buena Vista Adobe. Since 2009, she's worked with Dale Kazmarek's Ghost Research Society, serving as the Southern California Area Research Director and California State Coordinator. Nicole is also consultant to various other investigative groups, including the American Spectral Society. She is known for her gentle and humble approach to working with the spirit realms, her clients, and the paranormal field. Blending her love of the history, paranormal studies, and writings, Nicole has written several books, including Field Guide to Southern California Hauntings, The Haunted Queen of the Seas, The Living Legend of the RMS Queen Mary, Spirited Queen Mary, Her Haunted Legend, RMS Queen Mary, Voices from Her Voyages, and many more. You can reach Nicole, or you can read more about Nicole on www.authornicolestrickland.com. And ladies and gentlemen, back to Beyond the Strange. Please welcome again, Nicole Strickland. Thank you for joining us, Nicole.
Thank you for having me, guys. It's always so much fun on your show. So, yay!
Yay!
Hey, it's always an honor and a pleasure, and I'm so happy that you're
Yes.
feeling so much better, and you're joining us
You
tonight.
too, my friend.
Oh man, I'll tell you, it's been a roller coaster, but we're all here tonight,
Yep.
and right before my favorite time of the year, Halloween. It's funny because
Exactly.
it used to be Christmas, and I still like Christmas. Don't get me wrong. That's a family time of the year, but for some reason, I just always loved Halloween. That was just like my favorite time, I guess, to be myself, because I'm a kook. I like to
I
do
love it.
all kinds of crazy stuff. My wife, she's worse than I am. She loves decorating. I mean, her house is decorated with a bunch of stuff. But Halloween is definitely the best time of the year for me. So.
It really is, but it goes by too fast. That's the problem. It's like, it's like it's here and then it's gone. I love it too, though. There's something about it. It really is.
I'm wondering if the veil's actually thinner around this time.
I think it is. Yeah. What are your thoughts on? I do. I think it is. I mean, I don't think there's proof of it, but I feel that it is.
I mean, it's always been like in Latino culture for Dia de los Muertos.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That was around the time. That is the time where everyone remembers their families, and they do the celebration, and they leave out food, and they visit all their ancestors at the cemeteries and all kinds of stuff. It's like a festival. It's so,
it really is.
So
it's
awesome.
A beautiful festival. It really is awesome. I know San Diego, Old Town San Diego, they always put on a really good Dia de los Muertos event there. It's a beautiful festival. It really is.
I love it. And Russ, how about you? How do you like this time of year?
Oh, it's definitely my favorite time of year. Just Halloween candy's awesome, and but probably my favorite thing. My favorite thing about Halloween, I would say, probably getting to listen to Sirius XM Scream. Catch up on the paranormal podcasts, and used to be years ago. Used to love to watch Headbangers Ball when Halloween would fall on a Saturday night. That's just set the tone right, and just love this time of year.
One of my favorites too. Gigi, how about you? Is this one of your favorite times of year?
This is absolutely my favorite time of year.
We're all in agreement. Yay.
Yeah. I mean, not only for all the reasons said before, but also because if you're lucky, depending on which grocery store is near you, you can buy some eggnog already. And I love that too.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. I used to love eggnog, but then when I was a little girl, I think I was like 8, maybe 7 or 8. I ate it. I drank it when I had a stomach flu. So now I can't have it. It's like an aversion, but it tastes really good though.
Yeah, it's weird. When I was a kid, I used to hate it. I used to always say it tasted like toothpaste. And but I don't know, as I got older,
the texture, I can see that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little funky, but I do love it. And in fact, I think there should be either Halloween needs to be extended for a 2-month thing, or there needs to be 2 Halloweens per year. One of the two.
There you go. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Let's just make it all year long. Why don't we? I like the 2 Halloweens per year thing. That's good.
That would be great. Yeah.
You got Chris.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you got Christmas in July. Why not have Halloween in April?
Yeah. There you go.
I like that.
Because my birthday's in April, that'd be perfect.
Oh yeah.
So
good stuff.
This is an amazing time of year, and we got the holidays coming too, and we could be with families and stuff. So definitely one of my favorite times of the year, and I'm glad everyone's in agreement. What was I gonna say? Nope, never mind. I changed my mind. So Nicole, tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background. I did your bio, but there's so much more that I left out. So please give us some more about you.
Sure. So I've always had this fascination with the paranormal and specifically ghosts and spirits and hauntings, that category. And so like as far back as I can remember, I mean, going back to like 4 and 5 years old, I would have these experiences that I couldn't explain. And then so my family moved from Huntington Beach, where I was born. Huntington Beach is a little bit about an hour north of San Diego, a little beach town in Orange County area. So we moved out to Vegas when I was about 1.5. And so it was a new home at that time in about 1980, 1981-ish. And so I started having experiences there that I really couldn't explain. And that fascination just with the anomalous, if you will, stayed with me. And then when I got older, middle school, high school, I would read as many books as I could or articles, anything about the paranormal I would look at. And so fast forward to when I was in college, my senior year, I very close to my maternal grandmother. Her name was Helen Lopinto, and I've shared this story so many times, and it's so profound. She called me the night before she passed, and she wanted to know if I was okay. And I thought, well, this is odd. This is random. So I talked with her on the phone for about 10 minutes or so, and then didn't think anything of it other than it being kind of strange. And then the next day in the afternoon, my mom called me, and I knew by the tone of her voice that something was wrong. And she said, "Oh, sweetheart, I love you so much, but grandma passed away early in the morning, about 4:45 a.m., October 25th, which coincidentally is my mom's birthday as well. So her mother died on her birthday, which is an odd situation. So I was devastated, took the next flight out to San Diego. My grandmother didn't want a standard funeral, so we just had a little gathering with the family. And I got to see her, a viewing, and she was very peaceful, looked beautiful in her casket. I wrote a little letter for her and a picture of myself with my cousins and put it kind of in her pocket in the dress she was wearing. And so beautiful little time with my family. And then I came back out to where my college was, University of Arizona in Tucson, Arizona. And so I started, I would say maybe about 2 days after I got back, I started having weird experiences. So the doorknobs of my front door and my bedroom door specifically would rattle by themselves. Now I thought, I'm in an apartment. This is vibration. I didn't even think anything of it. A couple of days later, I was in my bedroom on my bed. I didn't see, but I felt a disembodied hand touch my face. That's when I connected the two. And I said to myself, could this be Helen talking with me from beyond? Could it be? And so again, didn't think much of it. A couple of days, 2 or 3 days later, again, was on my bed doing my studies and all that on my computer and whatnot. And I saw something out of my left peripheral vision. And when I looked, there was my grandmother, full bodied. It looked as though she had a spotlight shining against her back. So she had this very bright halo around her. She was wearing one of her favorite dresses. She looked about 10 years younger. She didn't say anything to me, but had a slight smile on her face. And then just right before my eyes, she disappeared. So that's when I knew I connected all three occurrences. And I thought to myself, is this me? Is it me having some sort of bereavement hallucination, or is she really trying to talk with me? Right. So I felt more it was the latter. I really did feel that it was her way of trying to let me know that she was okay. So I called my mom, her daughter, of course, and I explained everything that was going on. And so my mom and I agreed to talk with her openly. And we explained to her that she's free to move on wherever that is, and wherever that may be, and that she doesn't have to worry about the family. When she was alive, she was a worrywart. She used to always worry about the family. So I told her, I said, you don't have to do that anymore. We're fine. Go on, be at peace, whatever. And so the experience has stopped. But now she does come back every now and then just to visit, usually around her birthday or my mom's birthday, and then around the holidays, things like that. So that right there, that experience was so profound for me that I had to just get active in the field. And so that's when I started investigating the paranormal, just with different teams in Southern California. And then fast forward 2009, that's when I developed the San Diego Paranormal Research Society. So we've been in operation since that time, and we primarily focus on private residences. Not so many of those anymore as we used to. It's more historical cases. And then, of course, our tours we've been doing for about 10 years. And then I love to present. So I offer like all kinds of different presentation topics on the paranormal, and I present those at conferences, events, libraries, things like that. Of course, doing radio is a lot of fun. So it's really been an ongoing journey of learning. And I'm one of these. I don't believe there are any experts in the field. I consider myself a student in the paranormal. And then working with Dale Kaczmarek, he's been a great mentor as well. And I've done some cases with them as well with the Ghost Research Society. So it's been a really fun journey. If you asked me like back when I was maybe 10 or 11, 12, 13, so what do you think you're going to be when you grow up? I would have never, I mean, I do. I mean, obviously the paranormal, that's not my job, but I never would have imagined me being involved in this field when I was little. It's just weird how things happen. So yeah.
That's interesting. That's what one of the questions I wanted to ask you before you saw your grandmother, like full apparition.
Yeah.
Had you seen anything similar to that?
Nothing as profound as that.
Right.
Going back to Las Vegas. Now we had a pool in our backyard, and it was summertime. I want to say maybe July, August. And so it was dusk. So it was just starting to get dark. And it was my mom, dad, and I, and we went for a swim, and then we got out of the pool. And so it was kind of still light out, and we were standing. I remember this distinctly. We were standing on the side of the pool, drying off. And all of a sudden I did see like a dark gray humanoid mass. It looked kind of like it was trying to get into the shape of a human shape, kind of float and go in between us. And my parents were oblivious to it. And so I remember, I don't know how I remember this, but I do. And I looked at my mom and dad. I said, Mom, Dad, did you see the draft? I mean, I don't know why I would have described what I saw as a draft. That's what I used. And they're like, no. I said, yeah. And I explained it. And they're like, no, I didn't see anything. So there was that. And then growing up in the house in Las Vegas, there was an older man. I would say mostly maybe residual. No, I would say more intelligent, because we communicated, and I would see him and feel his presence and kind of talk to him, but nothing as profound as my grandmother's spirit at all, ever. It was just, it blew me away.
Even though, yeah, even like you were mentioning, and I love the way you describe that, because there is different types of contact with, spirits on the other side. You mentioned residual, you mentioned intelligent. Even that is, I believe, is profound. I would say even profound as seeing an apparition. It's weird because all my life I've been around my family, and my family has always been kind of around the paranormal as well. There's always been stories of different things that's happened, throughout, my family's history. And leave it to Latinos, we pretty much believe a whole bunch of stuff, but seriously, stuff does happen, and those stories are just amazing to hear. But it wasn't probably until like later on I started, because I'm more of a I guess you want to say like a pop culture, pulpy kind of person when it comes to all of this ghost and UFOs and Bigfoot and all that stuff. And my first encounter with a spirit, I thought I was going to see like in Supernatural, when you see your breath is all cold and you can see it coming, like you're in a walk-in or something. I didn't get any of that. I didn't feel any of that, but I actually got to feel what that person was feeling when they died, and they were having a heart attack, and it was terrifying, because I thought I was having a heart attack.
That's phenomenal in a way, though. So you actually felt the exact pain and all of that, and the sweating and all of that goes along with it.
God, it was so bizarre. I mean, I don't think I was feeling everything exactly they were feeling, but I got a touch of what they were feeling, because my heart was feeling kind of racy and chest pains. And then I started getting a little sweaty, and I'm like, oh my God, there's something really going on here. And I was in we were in an art museum that was converted from an old Victorian home. And later on we found out, and through a medium, that people had died there. And again, I'm not seeing these apparitions or these ghosts or anything, but I'm feeling a lot of stuff, and that right there to me is just almost profound. Russ, you got a question?
Yeah, I was just going to say it's, my first spiritual encounter really was kind of like what Nicole experienced.
Yeah.
I was asleep one night, and I was almost like I was dreaming, but it wasn't a bad dream. But I woke up and I saw a glimpse of my deceased grandfather at the foot of my bed.
Wow.
And I was real close with him and everything. He passed away from cancer back in 91. And, it was a real trauma on my family. Still is to this day, really, because he was just a good person and everything. And, it's anytime you lose a loved one that you're close with, it's always, just very, very hard. And
It is.
I just really don't have a lot of words to say, because there's no good words you can say about a loved one dying at all.
Right.
But other than if they're out of, misery or pain or anything like that. But now I will say this, that we were at my my store one day. This happened just recently, back in the summer. And I was going on a paranormal investigation that evening, and we've been doing some residential paranormal investigations, and I had my laptop with me. So one of the other guys that was working there at the time was really into the paranormal, so I decided to fire up the Phasma box, and we got to talking, and just asking the spirit questions. We made contact with something, and we think it was one of our former coworkers, but because she called me by name when I said, "Who is this?" and she said, "Hi, Russ." And
wow.
and it was intelligent. It was come through on the Phasma box, but then something kind of disturbing happened. It was we said such. I don't want to mention any names on TV, but I said, "I hope you're at peace in the afterlife and resting in peace." She said, "It's hot here." And then she came through and said,
Haley, come here.
It's torment. And I've even got a chill going up my spine right now, and it's just, I'll never forget that moment, man, because I hope that's not the person where she's at. And because she was a really good person in life and everything, I've known her for a long time. She passed away a few years ago, and just, that just kind of turned my stomach and just really upset me.
I apologize for my cat, guys.
Oh,
I'm wondering if that's metaphoric for something, though, that maybe she's trying to say that she's maybe not fully evolved spirit yet, and she's still kind of in a limbo. I mean, I don't know. It could be metaphorical for something. Wow.
Yeah,
but that's
yeah.
But I wanted to make a comment too, Dave. When you were saying, and you were talking about your encounter and feeling that individual's heart attack, it brings me to the point. A lot of people want to have these holy grail experiences of, I want to see a ghost, I want to see a spirit, I want to see a full-bodied apparition. But you forget that some of these encounters, like what you had, you didn't see anything, but you felt that's just as profound as seeing something.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, and I'll never forget it. And but it's interesting because I haven't really felt anything like that before. But I've messed around with ghost hunting apps and that kind of stuff, and I think some of those things really do work. I don't know about how you guys, but I do believe, like Russ is always mentioning the Phasma box. There's some like ghost hunting tools or something like that I'll have on my on my phone, and I'll ask questions, and it'll be like, "Ooh, this is kind of interesting and bizarre and stuff like that." Names will pop up that are familiar. I don't know. It could be coincidence, but it's entertaining. Definitely entertaining.
Of course.
But that day, I'll tell you that was like very convincing for me. That was my very first experience with real ghost activity.
Phenomenal. Yeah. Now with the Phasma box, I know it's Windows, but is it available yet on Mac or no?
I don't think so. I haven't seen it for Mac yet. I know it's on. I take my Windows laptop with me. Extremesenses.com. It's by far probably the best tool that I've used in paranormal investigations. I think that and did kind of a joint investigation with Willow Sierra from I Spy Ghosts several years ago at Lake Shawnee, and she had the SLS camera, and that's pretty compelling. Also, what was really compelling about that is with my naked eye, I saw an apparition get up off of the couch, and it actually mapped itself on her camera. So that is 100% valid, I think.
Yeah, that's something like that where you can track the movement. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I love it.
There is a way to there's programs for Mac called one called Wine, the other one called Wine Bottler, which essentially allows you to re-effulate the app into working for a Mac. And
okay.
So there is ways to do it. Not every app is 100% compatible with that, but it'd be worth trying to do.
That would be. Sure. What's it called again?
Wine, and just like a glass of wine.
Okay.
And wine bottler, just like bottling.
Oh, okay.
Wine. That's actually their logo too. Yeah. So
okay.
The right one.
I'll check that out. Yeah, the Phasma box. I've heard some great captures. I have yet to use it myself, but I've heard some really great captures with Dale from Dale's team. Amazing captures on that. So good stuff.
So, go ahead, Gigi. I'm sorry.
I was going to share, because I'm no Russ Bailey when it comes to this kind of stuff. Russ and his whole Black Sky Paranormal team. I mean, they do real investigations and with real equipment and stuff. I've only had a couple of experiences, but I'll never forget. So I'll try to make this very short. I had the opportunity to meet my great grandmother one time when I was about 5 years old, and she was the most loving. The most loving, kind. I mean, she was just so happy that I existed and got to meet me. She had her own frequency, if you will, that she projected. It was a very distinct, recognizable frequency. Now, fast forward several years later, I was probably about 8 or 9. Me and my sister both saw this. She sort of came through the door into our shared bedroom at the time, initially with that same vibe, but then it turned into a nightmare kind of thing. And we were both deathly afraid of her, and it really messed us up for a little bit. But then fast forward a few more years, I'm out swimming in the backyard pool, and my grandma is watching me through the downstairs window, as she always does, which is always a comforting thing. You're like, okay, my grandma's cool with me being out here. Everything's cool. Like, okay. And then, but on the upstairs window, I see somebody that looks very similar to my grandma, but it's not my grandma, and there's nobody else that lives in the house. So I'm like, and then I recognize right away, that's my great grandma in this sort of spirit form, but she was back to being her original kind. I felt that kind of frequency. So it's like, out of those 3 experiences, there was one time where it turned negative, and it makes me wonder if there's not, because knowing her and knowing what everybody had in my family had to say about her, there's no way she would ever intentionally cause me and my sister any sort of fear or fright. Yet something took her form. Whether maybe it's one of a couple of things. Maybe she was lost and confused or something and didn't know how to react, or maybe I just can't help but wonder that there might be, just like we have human tricksters, we have BS artists all amongst our race of humans, and who's to say that there's not tricksters in the spirit realm either? Because I tend to believe that second encounter that was negative was not the great grandmother that I knew. That's not the great grandmother that I was taught about, and that's not the one that I saw the last time either, even though they looked the same.
I wonder if it was like something like with her, maybe her fears, her own individual, because we all have, like, every single human has baggage, right? So I'm wondering if that was personifying in some way. And that's maybe what you I don't know. That's hard to say though. That's fascinating.
Yeah, it was very interesting and
very fascinating.
I also wonder if there's not really quick, just kind of point/question here, if when it comes to detecting ghosts, for lack of a better term, do they necessarily have to have been alive in our dimension before in order to exist there? What if there's, just like a two-dimensional society would not be able to perceive us three-dimensional people? What if there's another dimension, or maybe even another third dimension that just takes place in the same time and space, but instead of being made out of carbon and their technology being made out of silicon electronics, maybe they're made out of some other materials that we can't even detect, but we're still sharing the same space, and sometimes there are overlaps. You know what I mean?
Yeah, getting into quantum physics right there.
That's what it sounds like. I often thought about that too. But I think that goes back to like what Nicole mentioned earlier about, residual and intelligence, because you can actually communicate with the intelligent spirits that actually will communicate with you, and the residual ones, to me, they seem more like what Gigi's talking about. So they're overlapping. You'll see a repetitive spirit maybe on a certain time. Stories like that. On a dark road at midnight, and it's walking along the road and stuff like that, and it only appears in a certain time. That to me that seems like a residual type of, I don't know if you want to call it haunting, but a spirit or something like that. And that would like kind of match what Gigi's talking about. But the actual intelligent, to me, is like what Russ was talking about, where he was actually communicating with these other spirits. And I've often been told, because I grew up in a religious background as well, that sometimes when people try to talk to spirits, or when they do talk to spirits, it's not that spirit that you're talking to that you think you are. It could be a demon or another malicious, spirit with bad intent. So they could have been tricking Russ into thinking, Russ was thinking that this was that person, but they're just like messing with him, telling him, hey, it's hot down here, and just kind of giving him that kind of stuff. I don't know. That's just my thought.
Could be. Yeah, it could very well be. And I've often thought too, I'm sorry, Russ, I'll say this real quick. Is it possible for, let's say, an earthbound or whatnot to be both residual intelligent at the same time? Is that possible? I've often wondered that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd say it could be. I don't see why not. I mean, to me, my definition of ghosts and ghosting, so to speak, I've always believed the spirit goes either one place when you die. It goes to heaven or hell. But what happens to the energy that's left over?
Right.
Yeah. So we still have some, residual energy. And I mean, who's to say that it could be intelligent also? And we just don't know. It's just so weird,
It is very strange. Very strange. I mean, with quantum physics, it says literally a parallel dimension exists in addition to our own, regardless of what we're doing here. So, it's that's a good point. If there's two yous, there's two me's. And when, let's say, the human form, like in this dimension, we die, our energy goes off, but with the parallel dimension, where does that energy go as well? So what makes this so fascinating? It's great.
Yeah, there's we've all everyone here, we've all interviewed Dr. Richard Allen Miller at least a few times each. I don't know, Nicole, have you ever talked to Doc Ram, Dr. Richard Allen Miller?
I don't think I had. No, I don't think so.
Oh boy, well, that's something to put.
Fucking you should get him on your show.
Yeah, that would be a great. Absolutely.
Yeah,
he talks about he talks about his team over there at MRU. They discovered that there's. I don't think they discovered it. They just sort of reaffirmed it in a more technical explanation, but that when a person dies, there is a measurable loss of matter that leaves the body. And we're not talking about breath. We're not talking about, bowels being evacuated when you die. There is a measurable amount of energy that leaves, kind of like Russ is saying, like that energy must go somewhere. And who knows how that energy could manifest,
That's
very interesting.
Yeah, that's
very interesting.
Get your mind going, that's for sure.
And it's funny too, because Robert Lanza, the famed scientist, his concept of biocentrism is something that's always fascinated me. He claims that in essence, we are all immortal, and that we are creating our universe as opposed to the universe creating us. And so I find that that's just a topic that really fascinates me. And it's like one of his famous quote about that is like, okay, when we die, we're a perennial flower that returns to bloom in the universe. Interesting concepts, my friends.
Yeah. It also reminds me the other quantum physical concept of might even get more into string theory, if anything.
Yeah.
But that the further, look at the particle accelerators, we're smashing these particles together, trying to recreate Big Bang scenarios. And we think we found the smallest thing. But then when we look again, there's another smaller thing. And then we look again, there's another smaller thing. And so there seems to be this property that a lot of quantum physicists and string theorists and theoretical physicists also alike all sort of more or less concur that the universe will always create something for you to see. Mm-hmm. You're never going to hit a wall. If you're looking for something, and who knows, like there might not have been anything there before you looked, but the act of you looking forces the universe to create something for you to see.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
It does on many levels. There's also too that what comes to mind, I think his name is Stuart Hameroff, University of Arizona, and it's the concept of what's it called, orchestrated objective reduction, I think, or OR. And they talk about how these microtubules, so the structural constituent of our cells, that the material in our cells, when we die, oh God, it's hard to put it, but when we pass on, that there's still, in a sense, life to them, and that they kind of continue on, if that makes sense, if I'm explaining it correctly.
Yeah.
I talk about biocentrism and that in my upcoming book. So, but it's so interesting. Nice. How, it makes you really think. And that's what we need to do. We need to really think about all of this stuff.
Well, yeah.
Well, and then there's...
Oh, go ahead, Russ.
I was just going to say there's also the ET factor too. And who's to say that these entities could be extraterrestrials cloaking themselves, walking among us? Who knows?
Right. That's very true. Right.
Yeah.
The whole cloning aspect too is very it's kind of like scary for me, but yet it's like I want to read up on it, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I often wondered about, like what you just mentioned, Nicole, is, you know, and it's been brought up, you know, do clones actually have souls? You know, or do we, you know, I mean, we, of course, you know, we bring up the fact that we have souls, and I always like to ponder, or, you know, just, you know, sometimes just go into a daydream state and just be like, well, what exactly is a soul? You know, and how does that, you know, how does that interact with us and others? It's just, you know, it's just fascinating. And, you know, I'd like to know more, because, hey, after this, we don't know what happens until we get there. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so just the things that we find, it kind of gives me more, you know, information about, you know, where else we're, you know, where we're going from here. But anyways, that's just my thinking again. I know I'm sorry if I'm kind of rushing and jumping around, but I do want to get to, you know, ask Nicole more things before we go, because this is kind of a short episode. Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Absolutely.
But you know, we'll definitely, we'll have Nicole back as many times as she can come back. So
you guys are awesome.
and starting Monday, guys, just letting everyone know, Monday we go back to our regular time. We go back to our regular schedule, and it will be 2 hours starting Monday for the show. It'll be, you know, more of a format, I promise. You know, it'll be the show that we used to have, and more. So, so anyways, couple things. You've started a podcast, and I know you've been doing it for a little while, but we haven't had really a chance to talk since you've done that. So, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So my good friend Todd Bates, he's a veteran broadcaster. And so he has a network called WLTKDB. And so I co-host Haunted Voices Radio with him on Tuesday nights at 6 Pacific, 8 Central, 9 Eastern on the network. And Todd's had Haunted Voices Radio since about 2004. So I've been co-hosting with him for about a year, I would say now. So then it's been a while. It's been a few years, and I've thought, you know, do I want to come out with my own podcast, my own radio show? And, I'm not sure. I don't know if I have the time for it, all that. But I thought about it, and I'm like, yes, I'm going to do it. So the Afterlife Chronicles is what I called it, or this is what the name is. And so I debuted that, when was that? October 8th of 2020. And that's on Thursday night, same time, 6 Pacific, 8 Central, 9 Eastern on WLTKDB. We've recently started using StreamYard, so we're able to simultaneously, you know, stream it on social media channels and all of that. Yes. Twitch and YouTube and all of that. So it's great. It's great because you get to interview people and you learn about their perspectives and their experience, and it's a great way to network, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I'd love to have each of you on my show one day. That'd be great if you want. So but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Or we could do like a round table or whatever we decide to do, but it's a lot of fun.
Oh no, it's definitely a lot of fun. You know, since I've been doing this with these guys, it's just been, you know, wonderful. I love the experience, and you know, either whether it's like you said, 1-on-1 or round table. I kind of like the round tables. I do like the round tables.
I do too.
It's really neat. And you get, you know, each other's perspective, and you kind of just go afterwards, and it's pretty neat. I like that. What would you say? Well, how does it feel? Let me just put it this way: how does it feel being on the other side, actually doing the interviewing instead of being the interviewee?
I like both. I really do. I like interviewing, but I like being on the other side too. There's crossover there, but it's both. They're both different. They're both similar, but it's kind of like half and half. I like them equally in a way. So, what about you guys? Same for you, or?
Yeah, I find different. I actually find I actually like being the interviewer myself.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I mean, I started off here on Beyond the Strange, but then I've been doing Shift Happens as the main host for the last 5 years. And I'm not going to lie, I have way more fun being on other people's shows. Than
I think the pressure is off a little bit because,
yeah,
I'm
there's
still
no
like
pressure. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know that. I do know that.
But
Good
not
stuff,
to say
though.
that doing my own show is, I mean, it's great. I love doing it. We've got a cool crew. But man, I do love coming over here to Beyond the Strange whenever the occasion arises. And plus, we've got our other podcast that the whole crew of us do, the Pulp Addicts Pod.
Nice.
And I have a lot of fun.
For nerds.
I genuinely look forward to those shows very much, almost more than my own shows, I guess you could say.
No, I get that. I hear that completely. Yeah, no, I'm a nerd too. So, welcome to the club. But yeah, awesome. You guys are awesome. Yeah, I love Beyond the Strange. You guys are great. So it's always a pleasure.
Well, we definitely have to get you on Pulp Addicts one of these nights too. It's
we'll have a good time on that. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah, we just talk all kinds of pop culture, comics, movies, art, whatever. Skating for Gigi and that kind of thing. Music.
Right up my alley.
But I mean, I all of that stuff is all subculture, and it's just amazing. I think it should be covered more, and.
Mm-hmm.
And in certain circles it does, but I think it needs to be more mainstream, and it has become more mainstream, I believe, in the last at least the last 10 years. I've just been a little late for the bus on that one, but now we're starting to do that. It's fun. It really is. It's really fun to talk about everything that's nerdy. We get to talk about like DC stuff, the Batman that's coming out next year, and we talk about that, and it's just really fun. But I love doing this too because
that's right up my alley.
Yeah, definitely. Got to have you come on. But yeah, doing this still, the paranormal is, that's my roots, and I love it. I love talking to, especially guests like you and, my colleagues here. Russ, what about you? We didn't get your opinion. How do you like interviewing people, or do you like being interviewed?
I like both. It's I could do either or. I'm gifted with the gift to be able to talk about anything in the world.
Nice.
I mean, I'm well rounded. I mean, I can talk out both sides of my mouth, but yeah, I mean, it's I love the paranormal. Hopefully going to get some more investigations in soon. Love talking about the paranormal. Love hearing experiences and everything like that. And of course, my love affair of Batman, So
can't go wrong with that. Can't go wrong.
Yeah. My whole den is like the Bat Cave, so it's
I love it. That's so awesome.
Yeah. But I mean, it's fun. I really enjoy it, and I thank Dave and Gigi for giving me the opportunities to, and you, Nicole, also for having me on your shows.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are always welcome. Haunted Voices and my show, absolutely.
Thank you guys definitely for the opportunity that's presented itself to me.
Yeah, I think
you get to meet. I'm sorry, Dave. You get to meet some really like-minded, great people through podcasting and radio, and that's the beauty of it.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, I was just going to say that. Great minds think alike. And we do have a question or more of a comment. GA Loved Peach 1 says, "Hey Nicole, I PM'd you on Facebook."
Oh, I think I saw that, and I was going to respond back when I got off the show. Yes.
They say, "I have something I'd like to share with you," and then that was kind of it. But then they said, "Hey Dave, good to see you. Great live. Thank you, GA."
Okay.
Thanks for joining us tonight. And I mean, is it something that you know more about that, Nicole?
About what? I'm sorry.
I don't know if they're trying to share something with you that has to do with the paranormal, or
I don't know if I have permission to,
no, that's
someone, if they're okay with it. Someone contacted me, their name right here. I'm not sure if that's the same person, but yeah.
Okay. Well, that's totally fine.
I didn't want to like Yeah, they're fine. Yeah, I didn't want to like. I don't know if they want.
It's all good. All right, and then one of the things that we have to talk about, the RMS Queen Mary.
Oh yeah, of course.
Before we let you leave, that is like one of your passions, or if not your passion, period.
It's a big one.
Tell us about
part of my life. Well, sadly, due to COVID, like many businesses, she has been closed for almost 2 years. So it was December of 2019. I went with my mom for the day, and that's the last time I've been on board, which is insane because I average at least once, if not more, a month going up there. And so she's still closed, but due to the pandemic, and they're right now in the process of trying to do a lot of renovations. I haven't heard much in the last month or two. So I'm hoping by about somewhere in 2022, maybe February, March, she might be reopening. So that's a good thing. But yeah, it's a lot of myself and a lot of my friends that are also Queen Mary enthusiasts. We're like withdrawal. It's like a withdrawal. It's like, oh my God, we need to get on the ship. Like, come on. But amazing place, amazing historical place. And I've like you guys, I've investigated so many different locations, different historical locations. The Queen Mary is so consistent, and the energy on board the Queen Mary is unlike that of any other site that I've ever investigated. And it's a very beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ship. So
it really is.
Yeah. Very sentient vessel, in my opinion. You have the people that run it. You have the resident spirits and energies on board, and some of those that may come through. But I do believe the ship itself is very much alive, very sentient, and it's almost as if she's the mother protector, if you will, of the human energies that are on board. So it's a very interesting duality. That's in my opinion. But yeah, pretty great.
I agree. It's kind of like the Hinsdale House in New York. Recently, the Greg and Dana Newkirk, the Traveling Paranormal Museum.
Yes, I've met them.
They did an investigation with Haunt Me out of Maine of the Hinsdale House, and pretty much was just like they were talking to the house itself.
Right.
Because the house is its own entity and everything. So it's kind of fascinating how structures can be like that. But Queen Mary is definitely on my bucket list. I've got.
Oh my goodness! When you come out, I'll be there. It's great. Yeah. Can't wait till she reopens. We're all just like, when is it going to be? In Christmas time, Halloween time on the ship with their Dark Harbor event's really great too, and that brings a lot of money to the ship, which is fantastic. But Christmas time, they do a fantastic job with decorating the ship during the holidays. So beautiful trees, beautiful decorations, all of that.
I'd love to see that. That would be pretty amazing. Yeah. Gigi has been trying to get something going with Preston Dennett over at the Catalina Islands, I believe.
Okay.
Is that right, Gigi? And
yeah, it's really Brad's brainchild, Brad Harris, that is. But yeah, we are that is a thing. That's a thing that we're gonna try to do. Absolutely.
And I know that's not
Catalina's awesome.
I know that's not in the San Diego area, but I know that's
it's not far at all.
Yeah,
Catalina's phenomenal. Yeah, Catalina, a lot of haunted history there, a lot of history there. Yeah, we just had Preston on Haunted Voices. I think it was like 2 or 3 months ago. Yeah.
Preston. Yeah. Preston's the man.
He's such a great guy.
He's the best, man. Just full of good intentions.
Yes.
Thorough researcher. He's written more books than I can't. That's insane. How many books?
And they're great. They're amazing too. Yeah. Just the way he tells the stories and everything. So
his YouTube videos are great too. I've been following his YouTube journal. It's been pretty awesome. Me too. What I was going for is that if indeed this happens with the Catalina Islands thing, I'd like to try to. I'm not trying to invite myself, but at the same time I am. But I would just like to go there in that area and visit everyone that's going to be in that area, hopefully all at the same time, And that way I go check that out, talk with Preston, talk with, Gigi will be around because right now he's in Texas, but when he comes here, that'd be great. Maybe Russ can show up, and then, we can all just kind of,
that'd be really cool. Would that that would be awesome.
Shindig. That'd be awesome.
Well, really what the plan
and then go to
is,
Queen Mary too, if it's open.
Well, as far as Catalina Island, that's actually going to be, it's turning into an eTalk.tv thing that we're all going to do together is really what the plan is now. And is that are we ready to bring that up yet? Or should
absolutely.
We save that?
No, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. And so yeah, I'd like to let everyone know, if they haven't seen the Twitter announcement for Beyond the Strange, we've partnered up with Jeff Rennell. So is Gigi. I believe Russ is also going to be partnering up, and Brad Olson and others, to join his eTalk.tv channel on the website. And it's basically all of our shows and videos and stuff all in one spot. So all you got to do is
fantastic. Okay.
It's amazing. And what a great idea Jeff had. So
good stuff.
Gigi knows more about it. I was happy to join.
I do want to say, not only is now I want to be, especially for my arse, I want to be very clear. Live shows are still at the Fringe FM for me, but the archives, this is another place. Just like you can go to Spotify, you can go to iHeartRadio, you can go to all those places. Yeah. Well, now you can go to eTalk TV. But the very cool thing about eTalk TV is the whole social media implementation of it. I mean, they literally have their own Twitter embedded into the website. I mean, you create your profile, you send your cover image, and you can direct message, post, share, retweet, or re-talk. I don't know what the term is that they're going to use, but it's a very cool website, and I highly encourage and by the way, they said, this is this is Jeff Rennell's brainchild, and him and his web guy have done a fantastic job. And I've got to say it, every year, I get a couple, 2 or 3 people that reach out hey, we're going to do this thing. Do you want to be a part of it? I'm yeah, I'm already doing my thing, but if and it never happens. But this one is happening, and it's really cool. It's really awesome. I highly encourage for everyone to go to eTalk.tv, sign up, make your profile. There's a whole social media section with posts of new information and links to lectures and everything you have. Not to mention, you can catch all of our shows over there as well. So very highly recommended.
So anyone can join it?
Yeah, anyone. Just go to eTalk.tv and make sure to follow me and Dave and Jeff. And also, I know JP. Cool. His show's going to be on there as well, and like you said, Brad Olson. We got a pretty solid crew over there. So
that's amazing.
Everybody check it out. I am very excited about this whole platform. So.
It looks like an amazing platform. What a way to network and connect, for sure.
Really cool. Bringing it back to you, Nicole. Thank you again for joining us tonight. And I definitely want to let you have the opportunity to let the audience know what's happening with you and everything that's you.
Well, with COVID, I'm not as busy. So once things lighten up a little bit in San Diego, we have some library cases that we're going to be working on. My upcoming book, The Afterlife Chronicles, exploring the connection between life, death, and beyond, is slated to be, it's going to be published this fall. If they're backed up, it might be more into next year with Schiffer Publishing. I'm actually co-authoring a book with Marie D. Jones and Denise Agnew that's slated for 2023. And then I'm going to start working on another book that I've kind of been tossing around here shortly. So I've been doing some presentations. I did an online talk yesterday for the Association for the Scientific Study of Anomalous Phenomena. That was on the Queen Mary at their request. That was awesome. And so I've had just a couple library presentations in October and enjoy doing those. And that's about it. And then the radio shows, which are great, which you can find all on WLTKDB.com. So yeah, it's fun. Good stuff. And it's always a pleasure to meet with you guys. Got to do this more often.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a pleasure. I'm so glad you could make it tonight. And thank you again. And we'll be definitely keeping in touch to have you come back and share some more of everything that's going on with you. Brother Gigi, you Friday nights, right?
Every Friday night on the French FM at 7 p.m. Pacific. Catch Shift Happens right over there.
Good stuff.
Awesome. Russ?
You know me, beyondthestrange.com and Black Sky Paranormal on everything else. Anywhere. I'm easy to find. So.
Yep.
Fantastic. Great show, everyone. Thank you so much again to Nicole. And make sure you go out there and find her website and get into that stuff. Beyond the Strange is owned and copyrighted by Dave Cruz, cannot be simulcast, rebroadcasted, or copied without written consent of Beyond the Strange. Also, the views and opinions are not necessarily that of Beyond the Strange, hosts, guests, and affiliated networks. And listeners are encouraged to conduct your own research and formulate your own opinions. Executive producer and creator of Beyond the Strange is Dave Cruz. Co-executive producer is Deb J. Cruz. Co-producer for BTS is Russ Bailey. And thanks to everyone to reposting on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Remember to stay safe. Don't forget, Monday night, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on Twitch and YouTube. We'll see you all then. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween, guys. Thank you.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Thanks again.
Bye, guys.